It's probably one of the debates of the decade. Physical books or ebooks? Everybody has an opinion, so I figured I'd share mine. Before we get into the video, I just want to mention that my book, After the Last Battle, recently was nominated to become a Bragg Medallion honoree. So I'm extremely excited to have had an opportunity to participate in their program, and even more excited to have actually been selected to receive this award. So that is awesome, and that tells you that if you haven't already, that After the Last Battle might be a halfway decent book. So check that out if you haven't, if it sounds interesting. But anyway, onto the video. To get straight to the point, I actually prefer reading physical books better, specifically hardbacks, because I actually enjoy the process of holding the book and turning the pages much more with a physical book. I feel that I can connect with the book and I can immerse myself more in the world when reading a physical book. And I know that seems a bit absurd and is definitely subjective, but oh well, reading's really about personal tastes. And also I don't have to worry about charging a physical book. It's always there, that's all I gotta worry about. However, I actually find reading ebooks to be far easier, and I read them much faster. I always have my phone on me, and I read ebooks on my phone, and I always have them on me, so I don't have to carry a separate book with me somewhere just to read, and that makes it extremely convenient. Plus, if I get any chance at all, I can just whip out my phone, read a couple of pages, and it's that simple. It's not so simple with a hardback. For example, if I am, let's say I'm walking through the mall, and you know, all guys have been here, they're walking through the mall, and their girlfriend wants to go into some store to look for shoes or something, and you're sitting outside. Well, you might have a book on you, could open it and start reading it, but that means you have to carry around this book with you the entire time you're walking through the mall. However, you probably have your cell phone on you, so it's super easy to be able to pull it out and just read a few pages while your girlfriend's in Victoria's Secret or else. And if you're a female, and maybe your boyfriend's in GameStop or something, you know, it works both ways. So that's super convenient, and I really like being able to do that. And I can't really do that with a physical book simply because I don't carry it with me everywhere in situations like that. Also, once I'm done with the book, that's pretty much it for an ebook. I'm just done, I don't worry about it, and go on to my next book. With a physical book though, whether it be hardback or paperback, once I'm done with it, I have to store it. And after a while, this really starts to add up. I mean, you get book after book, and it takes up a lot of space, takes up a lot of room. If you ever have to move, it's a lot of weight. So it can be a bit difficult and be a bit of a pain, and it's certainly something you have to consider. Now, if you have limited space on your reading device, whether it be phone, tablet, e-reader, whatever, then that's definitely something to consider too. But I think it's a little bit easier to upgrade the internal memory of an electronic device than it would be to build a whole separate room just to store your books. And I know a lot of people get rid of books after they've read them. They either sell them or they donate them or give them away in some other manner. And that's completely okay. But of course, everybody's got those books they want to save in case they want to read again. So, and that's a lot easier to keep those books with an ebook than it is a physical book. So that's just another bonus. Something else is that it's backlit. Ebooks are backlit. So that means I don't have to have a separate source of lighting just to read. If I'm reading a physical book and if I'm sitting in bed and I just shut off the TV, I'm laying with my girlfriend and I want to read a chapter or two before I go to bed. With an ebook, I just pull it out, I read my chapter 2, put my phone down, and I go to bed. With a physical book though, I have to have a light. Now I've got a little lamp I keep next to my bed, makes it fairly easy. But I have to have that lamp there. If I didn't, I couldn't read it. If some people don't have that lamp there, it makes it quite difficult. So needing the extra source of light to read physical books can be quite annoying. Finally, ebooks are cheaper, and far cheaper, simply because you don't have the material cost involved. Now this can vary in exact price from book to book, depending on the size of the book, whether it's hardback, whether it's paperback. There's a lot of factors, but I would say for the most part, if you take one given book, the ebook is always going to be cheaper than the physical counterpart, whether it be hardback or paperback. And of course, the price difference is going to be smaller between the ebook and paperback than it would be the ebook and hardback, but it's still always going to be cheaper. At least that I've always seen. I've never seen an ebook that's more expensive than the physical version. And again, that's simply because of material costs and shipping costs. And actually, I have one more point, and that is that with ebooks, I have them instantly. If I decide, you know what, I want that book. So maybe I just finished a book, I'm shopping for another one, I found it, cool, buy it, boom, it's there. I can read it whenever. With a physical book, I have to go in town or I have to wait for it to be delivered to me. You know, even if I do my looking online, I'm looking for a book, but I decide to buy it in a brick and mortar store, I have to go to town to get it. If I order online, I have to wait for it to be shipped to me. So there's always that inconvenience too. So far, I've only really addressed reading ebooks on a cell phone. What about if you're reading on an e-reader or a tablet? Well, and just as a disclaimer, I've never actually read a book on an e-reader or a tablet, at least not in its entirety. But I can speculate because I've used a tablet, so I kind of know some of their drawbacks. Anyway, I think reading on a tablet or an e-reader would be something I absolutely hate. And that's pretty much just because you have almost all the disadvantages of both ebooks and hardbacks or physical books, with very few of the advantages. With an e-reader or a tablet, you lose all the sensory bonuses that you get with a physical book. The feeling of holding a book, of turning the pages. But you also don't have the size or carrying convenience that you get with an ebook on a cell phone, because it's still a little bit too big to stick in your pocket. Now, it's something you might carry on you a little more often, because a tablet might be used for work or for other things, so you might have it on you a little more often than you would have a book. But even that advantage somewhat disappears when you're looking at an e-reader, because it's used only as an e-reader. But with an e-reader or tablet, you'd still have the advantages of it being backlit and easy storage. All in all, I actually like the process of reading physical books more. However, the advantages of being backlit, easy storage solutions, and carrying convenience makes ebooks far more appealing to me, just because I can read them anywhere, I can read them whenever, and it is extremely convenient. So I actually read most of my books as an ebook. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of different people have their different opinions, so let me know in the comments below. You know, which do you like more, physical books or ebooks, or even specifically hardbacks or paperbacks, and let me know why. As always, thank you for watching.